Hello to you, oh my Brathrandil and Mitrandil. So I just came out of the gym, did my back workout. So you can see my arms are pumped out, my biceps are looking big, and also my back is kind of pumped out as well. My back. So the best thing about today is that I did my whole workout in under 45 minutes, which is really good for fat burning. If you want to lose a lot of fat, you work out with less gap between your workout sets. That's one of the famous strategies used by Frank Zane. He's a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder from 1970s. I think he won Mr. Olympia a couple of times. I'm not sure how many times, but he used to win it before Schwarzenegger's era started. So he was an expert on diet and nutrition, and his advice was that if you want to get more ripped, lose more fat, you give less rest between your sets. And that's what Frank Zane did, and that's what it's very difficult to follow because you get very tired after you do a very heavy set, and you're not sure whether you want to push it so hard that you want to maybe it's a kind of compromise between the number of reps you can do and the number of or the weights. Sometimes you have to reduce the weight to do the next set very quickly within the next 3 minutes. So yeah, today I had to drop down my weights from after the first set. I had to drop every exercise. The second set I had to drop the second set exercise by 10 kgs or something. So the first set was 95, the second set was 85, so something like that. So that's not bad. You're almost at the 90% of your peak weight level, and it's a very good strategy for losing weight. The second thing, I ran 1 mile in the best record today. It was 6 minutes and 42 seconds. My last record was 6 minutes 47 seconds, and today it was 6 minutes 42 seconds. And the strategy for today was run the first 400 meters at 20 kilometers per hour. Then until the last 400 you run at a slow pace at 13 kilometers per hour, and the last 400 meters you run at 15. I ran it at 14 kilometers per hour for the first half, and the second half I ran it about 15 kilometers per hour. So it is possible to break your record every day, I think. Yes, probably next time I'll run the last 400 at the entire 400 at 15 kilometers per hour, and that should allow me to break this record as well. So I'm quite surprised that it's very difficult to break your record of under 6 minute a mile, which I used to do very easily a year ago, maybe 6 months ago before I left that gym. I think the reason I quit trying to run under 6 minutes is because my attention was diverted by Sam Sulek and all his extra calorie diet and becoming big and things like that. So nobody wants to follow that now because Sam Sulek is gone. Everybody knows he's doing steroids. So what's the point of doing a high calorie diet if you are not under steroids? If you are a natural bodybuilder, you just become fat, and steroids are the only ones which can help you to gain muscle, and to gain that amount of muscle you become hungry all the time. But I am 44 and my metabolism probably may not be that fast. My metabolism probably is slower now at an age of 42, 44. I think, I'm not very sure about that, but according to what I've heard from people before, but I think it's all bullshit. I don't really feel really that old at all. I don't have any signs of like old age or anything, except for my hair is getting white here. I got silver, so I'm technically like a silver fox, but also I'm going bald. So these are the only two signs of my old age, which is baldness and silver hair. And apart from that, I've not seen any actual change in my body stamina or strength. Strength only keeps increasing with practice, and I can lift 160 kg deadlift today now, and that's actually the peak of my deadlift performance. And I could do probably 100 kgs of no, I mean I could probably do like 100 kg each side, the squats, but now I only do like 40 kg each side. So I keep my squats to a very basic minimum. For me, 40 kg on each side and a barbell is pretty good bar, a benchmark for heavy squats. So if you can squat 100 kgs, I would say that's like the minimum basic requirement for a man who's lifting a lot of weights. If you can't squat 100 kgs, then you have to work hard. That's all I can say. Because I couldn't lift 40 like 100 kg squats until I saw some people in my previous university doing that, and I got really jealous, and I got very jealous because someone at in my university, that guy was actually squatting 100 kgs, and for me I was probably squatting 80 kgs at the time. And I saw that, there was a girl in the university who used to be very friends with him. So that made me a bit jealous, I think, because it's not just jealousy, it's just the typical I think it's the typical British girl behavior, where they keep one British guy as like a strong British guy as a bodyguard wherever in any environment. So that guy was supposed to be like the strong man in that environment, and for me, I could not tolerate that there was some guy who was being given a lot of attention by a girl just because he was squatting 100 kgs. So then I started squatting heavier and heavier, and I worked very, very hard for it. And there's no special diet or anything that I did. I just kept on increasing my weights slowly and slowly, and I somehow started squatting more weights. So it was just hard work, and once you reach that level, your muscle kind of remembers it. You know that you can do it, and that's why I can now do it for the rest of my life, probably, because once you know you can do it, you can always do it. So that's my story about bodybuilding for now. So let's talk about something else. What's the news about my second Oxford job? I mean, the job from Oxford. Personally, I think what has happened is that they've not replied to me at all. First of all, it's a conditional offer letter. They've given me an offer letter. It's a conditional offer letter. A conditional offer letter is where the condition is that you need to satisfy the references. So you should get 2 references for the last 3 years. If you had worked in 2 jobs in the last 3 years, you have to get 2 references. If you had worked in 1 job for the last 3 years, your reference should cover the last 3 years. But what has happened is, my previous job here in Lichfield, the guy for whom I worked for peanuts, he used to give me a very, very low salary. And then he also made the environment so toxic that everybody started to bully me. And that's why I had to leave the job. And also I had some health problems. I thought people were bullying me. That's why I was feeling this shortness of breath and something like that. But I think it was my asthma the pollen in the air was actually too heavy, and I could not really deal with it. And I thought it was because people were harassing me, but it was actually because my shortness of breath was because of the environment. The pollen in the air was making me sick, and I couldn't deal with people anymore because I could not breathe enough. And whatever, if people said something, I would get very irritable. And when you can't breathe well, anything in your environment can get very irritable. And I'm a very angry person, and that can lead to some kind of anger issues. So when I get angry, I just keep it inside, and suddenly at one time it just explodes. And that's what I've heard from people, but I don't know exactly if it's true or not. But I saw repeatedly that these people were trying to push my buttons more and more. So in that job, they started to recruit more and more of these strong men. I don't know why they started doing it. I used to go to the gym, they knew that. But the guy actually recruited some security guard from a ship. So he used to work for the British police, and he's like from the West Midlands, a pretty crap person. Yeah, the typical police from the West Midlands, the normal people from the West Midlands, they are like absolute physical people. They are bullies. They are strongmen who can only speak the language of sticks and stones. They are not people with very highly interested in having intellectual talks and things like that. So I was stuck in a workplace where this guy was coming every day and talking all kinds of bullshit, bullying me and things like that. And he also started becoming like the security guard for all the females in the workplace, and there was some kind of divisive politics started. And so yeah, finally I had to leave that job because I thought that they were just ganging up on me, and at one point they started doing some silly things like a guy who had joined just after me was acting like he was already my senior. So as soon as I left, he was given the position of a lead Java developer or something. So the guy had joined after me, and he was much younger than me, like 30 years old, and he was bragging about his wife who is Asian and things like that, and he was starting to become friends with the all the Chinese women in the work. There was a Chinese lady in the workplace who was basically not very sure whether she wants to be on the side of the East or the West, or she was kind of a very important person in the office, but she is very senior in the office. But as soon as I became friends with her, my boss started becoming a bit worried. So he started employing all the young guy who has Asian wives to prove that white people are friends with Asians and things like that. And then until then he was just talking shit against the Chinese, but he also had some issue that I had a Chinese mobile phone, and everything he would pick up on little things, and suddenly if there was some news on TV that the Indians have become friends with Russians or something like that, he would suddenly start, or India and China are becoming friends and things like that, he would suddenly start calling me up, and he would come up to me and start talking geopolitics. He would start fighting with me for no reason. And why would all those international politics and things like that should be shoved upon my face, because I'm not really interested in that. And yeah, I was born and raised in India, but I have no control over what's happening there. I will always be supportive of my country, but not of every person in the politics. Like I don't care about who is in the power or not. So I'm not supporting each and every political decision that the Prime Minister does or anything like that. So but I'm also a British citizen, so he should just understand that I don't care about what political situations are going on abroad. So with that, I actually realized that this guy was a bit of a sadist, and I was working very hard in that workplace, but when I left, there was some kind of maybe a bitter burning of the bridges or something like that. Maybe, although I was living on good terms, there was some little argument about how much I should get when I'm leaving or things like that. Like I was taking all my remaining holidays, and I think I was given like 400 pounds or less, something less or something like that. So I had some argument with the finance department, the lady in the finance department, who wanted to, like, she had some issues with me, like always. She didn't really have an issue with me, but it's just normal, like crazy behavior, like all of a sudden bad moods with me for no reason. I don't know exactly. Maybe she has some hidden anti-Indian mentality. Like it's typical in she's from Birmingham, so the Birmingham people, they have some automatic anti-Indian sentiment for some reason. So yeah, because there's a lot of South Asians in Birmingham, and the city is basically a disaster. and we are very close to that city now. And so basically the Oxford job has asked for a reference from them, and the CEO, who is my boss, has replied to the Oxford boss, that Oxford people, that he can't give the reference. So she asked me, so the Oxford HR asked me to give me another contact. So I gave the lady's contact, the finance lady's contact, and she also probably has not replied to it. And so for the last whole week, no activity from Oxford. And I also gave them my offer letter from that company to show that I had joined on this particular date. And so today I was thinking that I might actually give them something like all my salary slips for the last for all the time that I worked in that company, because I have all the records. I could show my complete bank balance for the salaries that I received from that company, to prove that I was working in that company, and I could easily draw that up and show that information. And I could do that, but at the end, I might just be quiet and wait to see what happens. At this moment, I've resigned to the thought of joining the Reading job, because the job in Oxford is probably not going to be something I'll be able to achieve. I mean, something that will happen, because looking at the state of it right now, I think the chances of me getting it are very low now. And I've resigned to the fate of joining Reading now. And so the simple fact is, be grateful for what I have. Go straight to Reading, start joining the job and work in Reading. See how it goes. If you don't like the job, try to leave it in 6 months. Start applying for new jobs. Simple as that. No, there's no problem with. But again, we have the problem of referencing for a new job. I don't know why these people do that, like asking for 3 or 4 references. Even the Reading job asked me for references for the last 4 jobs or 5 jobs. So I had to give them all my references, all my offer letters. And I thought software was a much more easier place to get jobs in, and once you write a coding test and pass the coding test, it should be a good enough test that you will probably be good enough for that job. So why do they care about if I have been burning bridges with the previous job or not? Once you leave the job, then that's it. I mean, I also have the problem. I have this problem for a long time. Even I don't really have much of a contact with my previous college people, and I have all of them on LinkedIn, but I've not really put a very strong effort into maintaining my friendships with my past schoolmates and college mates, because I completely changed my field. I went into biology, although I finished engineering, and then I just wanted to follow whatever I wanted to do, and that's it. So I did exactly what I wanted to do, and people were just laughing at me, I think, behind my back. But when I came back into software like last 3 years ago, then some of the people were a bit pissed off because of that. I don't know. So I could see some reactions, like when I was doing my PhD in biology and things like that, I didn't see any reaction from anyone. Everybody was quiet, and I was doing a research in various universities for many years, and nobody was really bothered. But now I got into software, I saw some reactions on LinkedIn, like some people were getting. I just posted on LinkedIn that I got a job in software, and some people were posting things like, "Oh, I'm already the CEO," or something like that. "I'm already the director," and some guy was already saying, I'm a solution architect. I worked in C++, and I was just in Java and things like that." So yeah, some of these people were like flexing their muscle on LinkedIn, like just messaging me to saying nothing, just messaging, just saying hi, and that's it. After that, no reply, and they just want me to look at their profile. And yeah, you can see some of these people are narcissists, but very well disguised, because usually the Indians are very well disguised even if they're extremely violent in their minds. So yeah, that's the final solution for me. I mean, I'm not feeling that great now, because I had thought that I would be in a better situation if I could had both the choices and I could drop one. But now that I have to go for the only one choice that I have, I feel a bit sad because of that. And maybe the Oxford people might reply to me in a few days, but today is the 13th, and in the next 7 days, if they don't reply, then it will be 20th, and I'll be moving to that new place. And on the 22nd is my new job. And if I join the job, once I join that job, I'll be there, and I won't be quitting the job. That's it. I'll be there for the next eternity, because that's how I join a job. Whenever I join a job, I want to be there forever. But the only reason I get kicked out is because I just get kicked out, not because I left the job. And of course, the first job that I had was I thought I was being pushed out, so I thought I left. But I don't know if I would have been fired or something. I don't think I would have been fired, but I would be stuck with that shitty salary for almost 5 years, and I would be a completely poor man for many years, basically. And they gave me like a bus driver salary, and they have an attitude about it that as well. So they don't want to give references, so it just shows that these are all a bunch of little cunt kind of people. So with that, now I'll probably end my talk. Nothing much to say. Today I was doing what was I doing today? I'm not doing anything. Yeah, there is an issue where I've returned my laptop, but the asshole who has to receive my laptop in Portugal, he's on a vacation. So now I'm in a deep shit. I'm really in a very bad state, because I spent 165 pounds from my pocket to send that to Portugal, and this guy is not replying on email, not replying on WhatsApp. And I saw just on the day of sending that laptop to him on Portugal, that on Slack I saw that his status was vacationing, and I should have just made sure that the guy is not vacationing and he will be available. But now I know that he will be back in Portugal, back in his home. I don't know. This package will be sent to him on the 19th, which is an estimate according to UPS. And by 19th Friday, it will be there with him. But I don't know. So currently the status is it's on its way, but it has not yet. It's not reached Portugal yet, and it will be with him by Friday, July 19th. And I have sent a CC to both the HR and the admin, and also this guy who is like a complete loser and has some issues. Well, he's the IT department, so he's in the IT. So I don't know how these people they just keep taking vacation all the time, and they're not there at all. Like even if you're on vacation, you should be available for just answering your I tried to add him on WhatsApp, I tried to send him an email, no reply. So I don't know what happens when the guy just doesn't come back. So I'll have to, is there a facility in UPS to keep the parcel somewhere and then send to him when he's back? And I don't know about that, and because keeping it somewhere for a few days is probably going to cost me some money, and I'll have to inquire with UPS if they can do that. And I've also given these guys contact number to them, to the people who are sending the pack and send company, and if they can't reach him, they're probably going to send it back to me. So I'll have to make sure that it remains in Portugal, near maybe somewhere in a collection center for a few days, and they'll probably try to send it back to him once he's back from the holiday. So that's my good news for today. Not the good news, but all the bad news. Two bad news for today. Basically, Oxford job, then the laptop is not going according to plan. The guy is gone on a holiday, and I'm not doing anything much in terms of my workplace. Sorry, in terms of my hobby projects. But one good thing I did was yesterday I completely did a 5-hour streaming for my Tesla trade and my Starbucks trade. So with Starbucks I made a good $27 profit, and with Tesla I made a $100 loss. And I think I'm still waiting for another trade to finish with Tesla, and if that also fails, that would be another $100 loss. So Tesla would be the last company I would be day trading in further in my life, because it's some days it gives you a lot of profit. I made $400 profit on it once, but now I'm actually going back to $200 loss. So Tesla is a complete disaster. It keeps jumping up and down, and just like gives me a lot of anxiety. That's the problem. Yeah, it's better to keep away from Tesla trade. So I did a complete live streaming of that. It was a good experience. So now I can use it more like a whole day trading unit. It's like, for me, it's a good way of being more productive, being more efficient. Live streaming is a good way to be efficient, I think, to basically see how good your quality of trading is, to at least try not to make sure that you are completely documenting what you're doing, and see where you're going wrong once you're finished, and keep a record of all the losses that are happening. So it kind of feels good to do live trading, streaming with live trading, and I think I'll do that more often. Hopefully on Monday I'll start doing more live trading, and I'll do it on 2 or 3 different accounts and give a live commentary for a long time. And the best measure of my live trading success is when I can enter a trade, take the profits, leave, and finish the whole live trading session in less than 1 or 2 hours. But the way it happens is usually you get one profit, and then you start becoming greedy and want to get into another trade, and you end up losing money. So the idea is to always stay away from the market. Stay away. Day trading is dangerous. Do quick trades and document it and leave it. That's it. So with that, now I will start going back home. So now I'll there was a ginger guy over there just laughing loudly and looking back at me and shit like that. These fucking ferals, they have some attitude problem. At least they should laugh and not look at me, but they have to go there and start looking back at me. So especially the gingers are the most aggressive, because they have been harassed by the entire population for a long time. So they kind of act like they are a different race altogether. So with that, now I'll go back home. 29-minute talk again, which is a long time. But I've talked everything I had to talk. I will end my talk now, and goodbye.